I'm Whitney.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Deb.
We're three best friends who love nerdy things.
Well, some people think we're nerdy, but we think we're pretty awesome.
This is Our Nerdiest Thing.
Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to Our Nerdiest Thing. Today, we are starting our discussion of Crescent City, Book 3, House of Flame and Shadow. Today, we are discussing the prologue through Chapter 6. Please keep in mind, this podcast is very spoiler-heavy across all of Sarah J Maas's books and series. Before we get into it, Deb, will you please share our nerdiest cocktail?
Of course. Tonight's cocktail is named Sabine's Missing Face.
Nice.
Subtitle, what a fucking bitch. No, it's themed after Flynn being a savage with his weapon, and it pairs well with two angels and a fae prince, a beautiful warrior fae, and immediate regret for your life choices. And it may cause you to suddenly lose half your face. I hate it when that happens. So it's really, really good. It has Aperol and Mezcal in it and honey simple syrup, and it's got like a little kick at the end. It's lovely.
It is.
Thanks for making it, Whip.
You guys are so welcome. I'm glad that it was good, because sometimes I pick these cocktail recipes and I'm like, this might be good. I don't know.
Mindy, for the record, I don't think there's been a drink yet that Mindy and I have said no to.
Exactly.
I definitely always have a little bit of wine on hand for Whitney.
Yeah, I was going to say, I sadly can't say the same thing.
But also, I don't make bourbon drinks for you all, except for like I made one that was like super duper sweet. Like we do know our audience.
We know,
Yes.
we know each other.
I know we're supposed to like bourbon because we live in Kentucky, but we don't.
No.
Yeah. Well, Mindy, it's time for our nerdy and dirty recap, and we're going back to the 30 seconds and the wheel o names.
Kicking it old school.
Oh, yeah.
OGs. The OG fans know. So, Mindy, did you spin the wheel?
I did spin the wheel. It's been a while.
Did it miss you?
It missed me so much that it picked me.
Oh, nice.
Tantalizing. Did it spin fast or slow?
It was a little bit slow. It was a slow burn.
It was like, hey, girl.
For those of you that haven't listened before this season, what we typically do when we're not doing like, a third of a book in an episode is we spin a wheel and we have 30 seconds to give what happens in that section of the book. So good luck, Mindy.
Yeah.
It's been like
I'm a little nervous.
a year since we've done this, so I'm really excited to watch you do this.
Don't be nervous.
No, I'm like, fuck
It's going to be great. I do have a timer ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Well, on your mark.
Okay.
Go.
So Bryce falls into the new world, and it's the inner circle. Oh my gosh. And they start interrogating her, and then she just interrogates him right back. And then for some reason she trusts him enough to like eat a magic bean, which totally like sets off the horn on her back. And we're like, what the fuck? And nobody really knows what's going on. And then it like cuts to Therian, and he's being such an idiot. He's in the fighting ring, and then he's like addicted to viper venom, whatever. Then the boys are in the meat market, and they're with the alpha, and then they shoot off Sabine's face, and there's just way too much shit in this.
There's way too much.
I got like nothing. I didn't even bring up Lydia.
Yeah. Also,
Or Nesta.
Rune and Hunt
And Rune,
and Baxian are there. Nesta's there. Reese
I
is
should
there.
have just said, hey, we're reintroduced to all the characters. And out.
You did great.
We're acclimated
I
to
got
the next
through,
part of the
like,
story.
The prologue and maybe part of the first. Good thing we're talking about all the chapters.
I mean,
All of the
technically-
ACOTAR characters are there. Just
Technically, you
FYI.
skipped over the prologue because that was all Lydia.
Oh, that's right.
But that's okay. You did better than I
You
would have
get
done.
An E for effort.
Yeah, you did it. Good job,
Glad
man.
I didn't have to do it.
Well, hey, you get to still talk
you
more.
bitches are next.
Yeah, you get to still talk more because
I
it's
do.
time for our nerdiest vocabulary.
I'm much more prepared for this part. So again, kicking it back to the OG. Going back to some names.
Ooh.
And went to our trusty Urban Dictionary. So today I'm doing, I know you're so excited, aren't you? So today I'm doing Tristen and Declan. So Tristen, that word is from the French, which actually means sad or melancholy, which I think is contradictory to our Tristan Flynn.
I hope that's not foreshadowing.
And I know, right? And incidentally, the Urban Dictionary agrees that Tristen is not sad because a high majority of these entries say that he is the life of the party. He cracks jokes, has a great sense of humor. He's funny and makes people smile.
Yeah.
But of course, I found a few gems about
Dick.
Tristen.
Show me your wiener.
I feel like I need to interject here as a reminder that I only curate these Urban Dictionary entries. They do not necessarily express my beliefs or opinions. I'm just saying. So please don't come at the messenger.
But you want to make sure we know that somebody thinks this.
Exactly. So one of them says, a boy that acts very, 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 very gay, but yet is still actually straight.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay. This one escalates quickly. A person who comes in a girl's bathroom, tells someone, then says it's not true, then says it was an accident. This person had a very specific interaction with a Tristen.
Yeah, that's a really specific
that does
experience.
sound like something a guy named Tristen would do at a party. I just gotta say.
I'm kind of in agreement there.
Yeah, Tristen came in the bathroom again and then just left. We're
No, I didn't.
we're not inviting that guy anymore.
It was an accident.
But this one might be my favorite. The blackest white person ever. He's a fucking mad lad and he enjoys fucking the sexy ladies. Fucking will shank you if you speak shit to him. And just so you know, fucking is FKN.
Well, they had to make shortcuts, right?
Right. I mean, you know, you can't use all the characters in your, even though you can use like 80,000 and it'd be fine. Yeah. So yeah, I had fun with Tristen. Declan is of Irish origin, an Irish name, and it means man of prayer, thumbs down, or full of goodness, thumbs up.
Yeah.
So there was actually an Irish saint named Saint Declan.
I mean, I guess in the world of Crescent City, Declan could be religious because they kind of all are a little bit just because of the way it's woven into their
everything.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But yeah, he's not really overly.
I don't see him praying a whole lot.
No.
No. But
Yeah.
anyway. So Urban Dictionary generally describes Declan as sweet, shy, and willing to help others and super nice, which I thought was really
that works.
generally what I think he portrays in himself.
I will say, in between us starting the series again, I thought it was Declan Flynn and I was missing a character. Doesn't that sound like a name? Declan
It does.
Flynn?
It does, yeah.
Well, and I, for a while, was like, I get Flynn as, I think it's the first name.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
of Flynn Rider.
I do too.
I love Tangled.
Yeah.
That's literally how I picture Tristan.
Me too. Me too.
So Declan in the Urban Dictionary got some very interesting entries. So one was a guy who does stuff.
Well, yeah,
I mean, accurate,
it's
right?
never been anything truer.
And
from
then
Urban
somebody
Dictionary.
went a little further and said an excessively annoying bastard that does stuff.
Oh.
Okay, well, he must have hacked their computer or something. So this one's interesting. An awesome guy who is cool with the ladies and makes them wet just by being in a 5-mile radius of him.
This guy's
gosh.
name is Declan. They put this in there.
Oh, it gets better. He is also super good at games and super cool. Likes old wars and has a hat, a watch, and a knife collection.
Oh,
And
no.
he's 11.
Oh, Declan,
yeah,
no.
that went south. Yeah, I don't know.
No.
That was interesting. But this one's my favorite. I always save the best for last, right? This one's very simple. 2 words. He ballin'.
Oh, you know what? He is balling.
He is.
He is balling.
Good job, Declan.
Yeah, go great. Props.
I do him, but he doesn't like.
I was going to
he
say,
doesn't like women.
You do him, but would he do you?
Probably not.
Well, thank you so much, Mindy. That actually had less penis talk for Urban
did.
Dictionary than I
Yeah.
expected. So thank you for that.
Thanks for nothing.
Well, let's get into some of the specifics of this section. What was your all's favorite moment?
Well, I need to know first, reading these 6 chapters, Whitney, did you just read the whole book when you started?
I
the 6
didn't. I
chapters?
stopped it after chapter 6.
Oh, I'm
I'm trying
surprised.
to not read ahead.
I was afraid I would.
Yeah, I'm
But I
trying
didn't.
not to.
Someone in the channel, when we started doing book 1, she's like, okay, so I was just going to read what you guys are reading, and then I read the whole damn series. I was like, yep, that's how it happened.
Oopsie poopsie.
Well, so since you did stop, I do want to know what your favorite moment was. What?
My favorite moment is, of course, in Prithian, right? So I love I talked last episode when we finished talking about the second book, that whole huge reveal that this is a multiverse and she's in Prithian and Valaris with Rhysand and Feyre and everybody. I absolutely love that. So some of my favorite chapters in this book are when Bryce is with all of them. And so when she at the beginning is just kind of checking everybody out. Like, who are these people that I'm with? And Nesta comes in. She's in the interrogation room, which we know as readers is in the Court of Nightmares.
Right.
Bryce doesn't know anything about that. But when Nesta comes in, I love that Bryce immediately like clocks her and is like, oh, another warrior. Mm-hmm. The way that she's already described in her own head, Rhysand and Azriel. Yes. And I love that. There's no hesitation. There's no wondering who this woman is and what she might be doing. Like she
and
sees
which guy she's with.
Yes,
or whatever.
Like she sees Nesta as a warrior, like full stop. Yeah. And I love that because I love Nesta. Nesta has worked really hard through A Court of Silver Flames and beyond, knowing how hard she has worked to go from basically like a pampered, spoiled, rich bitch to being seen by this outsider as a warrior fae. I just love that. That's like a full circle moment for me, and I love that so much.
Okay, can I ask you something about that? A question that I have while it's relevant. Did you notice that whenever Rhysand says, get Nesta, Azriel murmurs, Cassian won't be happy?
I do. I did notice that, and I actually wrote down that I felt that was really out of character for Azriel.
Well, and I know because, like, so obviously we don't know what has happened with the Inner Circle. Mm-hmm. We do know when Bryce lands, at the end of Silver Flames, Rhysand's going to build a house for Feyre, right? By the time Bryce lands, the house is built, mm-hmm. right? Because that's where Azriel finds her. So there's been a little bit of a time jump here.
For
so
sure.
I'm like, is Nesta pregnant?
I have no idea.
Right. Was she off doing something else and he doesn't want her disturbed?
Maybe he just knew that they were banging and they were going to interrupt it.
Maybe.
It didn't seem out of character that Azriel would be like, Cassian's not going to like that. It seemed out of character that Azriel would say that out loud in front of an outsider. That is what I thought was really weird. That seems like a comment that he would think to Rhysand through like the mind connection.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
Have understood
but she doesn't understand him
at that point. She hadn't taken the bean yet, right?
Well, then how do we know that he said it? Because if
he says it to Rhysand, and it.
But do you see what I'm saying? It's because it's all from Bryce's POV.
I got really confused during that time of like what was being said and what wasn't.
Yeah.
Well, mine was also with Bryce and Rhysand and Nesta, and I really loved seeing Bryce not lose her shit when she says that Rhysand is acting all kingly, and then Nesta has like these piercing eyes, right? Mm-hmm. So first she looks literally straight into Rhysand's eyes and thinks to herself, it says she's taken on the Asteri and Archangels and Fae Kings and walked away. She'd take him on too.
Yeah, I like that.
And then Nesta says to her, you can fight us, but you'll lose. And then Bryce thinks, fuck that, but says, you try to touch that tattoo and you'll find out why the Asteri want me dead so badly. And I'm like, damn. Right? Because, I mean, if I saw Nesta, I would be like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Right?
Yeah.
And I just loved seeing Bryce being like, I don't give a fuck who you are. Like, you're not going to talk to me like that and try to intimidate me. Almost to the point of, like, stupidity, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like watch yourself.
Like, luckily, they're the good guys. Otherwise, she probably would have gotten killed.
She needs to fact find a little bit more.
Right.
Before she continues.
But I do think she realizes too that they are just as, they're wondering just as much as she is. Who she,
sure.
I mean, I think.
But she keeps making comments like, "Well, they are Fae," and I'm like, "Honey, you're part Fae."
I know, right?
You might want to get on board with that.
Yeah, there's a little bit of
get in touch with that side
self-loathing there, right? Yeah. What about you, Mindy?
Well, first of all, I just love the shout out to Micah and his ashes. That was hilarious. And then of course I loved when Flynn shoots off Sabine's face. That was really satisfying. But I think what's funny is mine's also between Bryce and one of the Inner Circle, but it's with her and Amryn. I love their back and forth of asking questions and getting no answers between each of them. They just keep asking questions and not answering, and then the other one will ask a different question. Yeah. They're just both so stubborn. And again, I'm kind of the same way. I'm like, who looks at Amryn and goes, I'm not going to answer your question.
I'm going to fuck with that bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody is so terrified. In ACOTAR, everyone is so terrified of Rhysand and Amryn and Nesta and Azriel.
I'm going to tell you all, I have probably more questions than notes for this episode.
I probably do,
so
too.
I'm going to just bring them up when they come up
instead
of waiting until the end. So there's something that describes Amryn. It says, flickering well, how do you pronounce it? I always want to say brassiere, but that's a brassiere. What is the
brazier?
Brazier, thank you. Flickering braziers of something that resembled first light gilded the silken strands of her chin-length bob. Did you catch that? How she says it looks like there's first light in Amren's hair?
I did not notice that it was her hair. Interesting.
And I'm like, well, what's that about? Because like Amren, I feel like in the scenes knows more than she is telling everybody.
Absolutely. That was one of my questions. Like, what exactly does she know? Like, she gets all weird when they talk
really
about
nervous.
the tax. That
yes, I agree.
She said it's a tithe, and I was like, oh, wait.
I'm like, what's going on here? She knows something way more than she's telling.
Yeah.
Even to Reese, you know?
Well, yeah, because he was like, well, we don't have any names like that. And Amren's like, well,
technically,
actually, we do. Yeah, she surprises him, which is, I think, hard to do.
I feel like we got a lot of new description in this scene, which I liked.
That is one of the things that I really loved is reading these characters that we kind of know, some of them better than others, but from a completely different perspective, from an outsider's point of view, and that description and the way that she talks about them. Some of it I was like, well, that's not right. He's really nice. Just get to know him, you know, but I really enjoyed that a lot. I am curious to hear everybody's least favorite moment. I have two.
I also have two.
I have one because I'm a rule follower. I'll go first because
go ahead.
Shortest. Mine is when Therian is obviously getting addicted to the Viper Queen's venom. Yeah. That's my least favorite part. He describes her venom as, quote, "It was beautiful, it was horrific, and it punched through him. Stars flickered in the air. Time slowed to a syrupy, languid scroll. Exhaustion and pain faded to nothing." And then the Viper Queen says, "Let's see what kind of stamina you have now, Therian." So do you think she made him fuck her?
Oh, see, I was thinking for fighting.
It was for fighting.
Done fighting.
She wanted him to, she was going to make him fight again because he did it too fast. She was mad that he beat them too quickly.
I think maybe I came to that conclusion quickly because Sarah J Maas, her predators are always female. And Viper Queen's definitely a predator.
I didn't go there, but I can definitely see that.
Like, it's the way, like, it says, like, that she smirks at him, and then, like, the scene just ends, and I thought it was kind of like, ugh, is she, like,
that's
those
icky.
guys for sex, too?
Mindy, what was your...
One of mine was, first of all, I'm going to go back to Therion, but one of them is really short. I just really hate that Hunt had to lose his wings again and that he was enslaved again. It just was heartbreaking. But going back to Therion, that was really my least favorite moment. I just don't care for how whiny he is. I mean, dude, this is what you signed up for. Like, maybe you should think things through next time before selling your soul. Like, it's too late to feel sorry for yourself. And then you have to become an addict too. So yeah, the whole like addiction to the snake venom just adds insult to injury to the whole situation. And it got me thinking too, like, is this something that really happens? Like, do people actually like try to get high off of venom? And yes, they do.
Oh,
yeah. Isn't that weird? So it is an actual thing. It's not very documented. So there's not a whole lot of like scientific research done on it, but there's definitely some anecdotal references and stories and things. So I got my information from an article on India Today and also from an article on Banyan treatment centers, because I guess they actually treat venom addiction. And there's links to those articles in our show notes. But like I said, there's not a lot of documented scientific cases on the effects of it or how it works or whatever. And there isn't really a logical reason that it doesn't kill the person. You might ask, if you are a word nerd like me, what do they call these insane people who would use animal parts or products? And I'm here to tell you that they are called psychonauts.
Oh.
There's an actual word for them, and they're called psychonauts. And because they're psycho, like, seriously, like, who would do this? So
I want to be really careful because, like, addicts don't have a...
That is true. That is true.
It's a disease, so I just want to be really careful.
I agree. Yes. But I thought that was an interesting phrase to use for that. But
it doesn't seem very science friendly.
No, it doesn't. But again, there's not a whole, this is not a scientific study we're doing here. This is more anecdotal. So what they will do is they will induce a snake to bite them on the tongue or the lips.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Like,
no,
already
thank you.
Be high to
yeah.
Let the snake bite my tongue.
No, thank you.
So the scientific like thinking behind it is that neurotoxins in the venom will then target your nervous system. And it will interfere with your neurological transmissions and produce effects like muscle weakness, paralysis, and altered mental state. It's also believed that the venom acts as an anesthesia and it renders the user unable to even feel pain. So
I can see why that would be tempting.
I'm sitting here as someone who lives in chronic pain all the time, and I'm like,
you're like, maybe I should try
it
this.
won't kill me.
Yeah.
You just have to let it bite me on the face. I'm kidding, for the record. I don't want to do that.
I would let them do a few more scientific studies on it.
Yeah. I also don't want to be called a psycho.
Yeah, no kidding. It can also release dopamine, which of course makes it highly addictive. And again, while there aren't many documented case studies, there are a few cases that have been actually recorded. And one of them I just found really, really intriguing. This was a 33-year-old male who had a pattern of addictive behavior, including cigarettes, alcohol, and opioids. And he tried snake venom as a substitute for his other addictions. He was thinking he would get rid of those by replacing it with this one,
like the lesser evil.
He did get a snake charmer to help him have the snake bite him on the tongue. He said after an hour, the side effects were jerky movements, blurred vision, and then he blacked out. He also reported that he felt a high stronger than any that he had experienced with alcohol or opioids. And he stated his high lasted 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
Damn.
Yeah, but when it did wear off, he experienced, to absolutely no one's surprise, irritability, lethargy, and drug cravings.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So I don't know. I found it intriguing that this was something that was actually practiced.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine having a snake on my tongue. Like, I don't even want it next to me.
Get the venom a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, can they not inject it some way? I don't
No,
know.
they
But maybe
do.
that way, I don't know. Maybe that's how it kills you. But I've heard of people getting snake bites that
They die.
Right.
Articles I read, there were a few different ones. One of them was a cobra. Yeah.
That's a no for me, dog.
Yeah.
I'm glad you looked all this up, though, because I didn't think about the venom being addictive in real life. I was trying to figure out, have we seen another character like that has something like that in their...
I was just like, it's SJM. Makes sense.
Right. But I didn't think about it.
Well, I mean, I don't know why I thought, maybe there's somebody that actually does that. Because it does seem, it's not that over the top.
Right.
It's not as big of a jump as you would think.
Yeah. Well, I have 2 least favorite moments also. One of them I understand, but I also wish it was different. Rune's just immediate hatred for Lydia. I really am having a hard time with that. I get it.
Really likes justice, and I'm like, well, yeah, because I would have been.
I get it.
If he would have been like, I understand.
No, I don't think I would rather him be like, I understand, but I wish that I would rather him be like, I want to make sense of this instead of just, I'm going to ignore that you exist. You know what I mean?
I'd almost rather them have a knockdown, drag out,
yeah, than just the cold.
Neither of their personalities.
I know.
I know. It's just this, but it's what I want.
I would like Rune when he's mad at me to just ignore me until he wants to go down on me.
And that'll be I'm okay with you now.
We're good.
Yeah, I'm really feeling for Lydia and the fact that once again she is completely alone. Yeah. She has nobody. For a very brief moment in time, she had Rune as Agent Knight to her Daybright, and now she doesn't have anybody anymore. And I know. I have a hard time with that. And then my other least favorite moment related to that is the way that Rune, Baxian, and Hunt laugh hysterically at that, 2 angels and a fey prince walk into a den. The laughter of that is so maniacal.
That's actually my favorite scene.
Really?
Yeah,
I
love
that's
that
funny.
scene,
The reason I really like that scene is because Rune goes, wanna hear a joke? And he doesn't even wait. And he goes, 2 angels, a fey prince walk into a dungeon. And then,
they just laugh.
But I feel like it's when they start bonding over what's happening.
Well, sure.
Right? We because it says they're literally, there's blood dripping from them. There's shit and pee hanging off of them. It's all over the floor. But they're in it together.
Yeah.
And I really love that they're okay, because they're not laughing because they think it's funny.
Well, right.
They're just being together, which, I mean, what else are you going to do?
That's what I don't like about it, though. They're not laughing because they think it's funny. It's I think it says in there, we're either going to be hysterically crying or we're going to laugh about it. But the laughter of it just is gut wrenching to me because of how horrible their situation is. And that was
didn't
tough.
sit well with you.
Yes, it made me feel uncomfortable as opposed to a little bit of like light relief. You know what I mean?
Well, because you don't want to laugh at it,
right?
Like as a reader, you're like, this is not funny.
Yeah, and
but
they know it's not funny, but that's what I didn't.
I can see that.
It's just a hard. It's a hard
too.
Scene.
This is a spoiler-heavy episode, and I'm not going to ruin anything for Mindy because she hasn't read it all the way. But like, they do have to depend on each other in this book.
Well, sure.
So for me, I was like, okay, this is the first time we see it because Baxian is still an enemy to them technically.
Yeah.
They know that he was Danica's mate and everything, but they've not ever relied on him for protection.
Yeah.
This is the first time that all three of them have had to rely on each other like this.
Yeah, at the end of book 2, Rune, at least from his point of view, is starting to look at Hunt as a closer like person in his life because he was like officially a prince and kind of like, I guess you're my brother now, like that kind of thing. But yeah, Baxian is still very much, to Rune especially, an outsider. But not in the situation, not anymore.
That does go into my biggest revelation, though, talking about Hunt being a prince. I didn't realize until I read this time that he had to take Bryce's last name.
Yeah.
He's Prince Hunt Athalar Danan, which I love.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you're the princess, and I'm just, this angel with barbed wire on my
And I'm just Ken.
I love that so much. He's like, yeah, I'm Prince Hunt Athalar Danan. Say it. Danan,
Nice to meet me.
I say Danan.
Danan, I think.
Yeah. However you say it.
So however you want to say it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying he's taken his fiance's last name, which I think is hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
I like that detail as well. Mindy, what was your biggest revelation?
Mine was when they were like, Bryce's tattoo, that writing's from the Book of Breathings.
Yeah.
Have we ever seen that rock thing before?
Rock thing.
That was one of my questions. The bean, the language bean.
The language bean,
He's like,
yeah.
I'm going to go get this bean. And then she's
I was like,
will you give it your memories? And I was like, wait, what?
The hell?
So that was, I wrote in my notes, I'm going to ask Whitney if we've seen this
No,
before.
I don't think which makes sense that we wouldn't have seen it because we wouldn't have met any character that doesn't
wouldn't
speak
know,
that language. Like, I will buy that, I
Very
guess.
sudden.
But I was just like, what the hell is this?
I
Like, it
got
was so
confused
weird.
because when I first read it, I didn't read that he put the bean in her hand too.
Mm-hmm.
I thought she swallowed the Veritas orb at first. I was like, what the fuck? Well, they're not going to get that back.
I thought they were the same thing. See? 'Cause
No.
They're both kind of called like bean things.
Right.
No,
The
like-
Veritas orb was the bean.
It's like
I did it first too.
Okay.
It's like a matrix pill.
Yeah.
Like speak our language and then show us your memory. I'll put it in this so I can show everybody else. Yeah. But I was like, what is that? And then I'll give her a pass because again, we wouldn't have met anybody in Akatar that doesn't speak their language. But it was odd. I was weirded out
Why
by
is
that.
it shaped like a bean
Sorry
too?
for interrupting you, but I thought those two things were the same thing. That's why I brought it up.
I did too.
No, it was weird.
Yeah.
The Book of Breathings was one of the what they were looking for in Mist and Fury when they were trying to find magic to like defeat the King of Hybern.
And weren't there two parts
There
of it?
were two parts.
Yeah.
There were two parts
Is it
to
where
it.
They have to like go. No. Okay, so sorry about that. But so what they're saying is it's like written in the same language as the Book of Breathings, or what?
Yes, the tattoo that is on her back is the same language as the Book of Breathings, which when they found the Book of Breathings in Mist and Fury, they gave it to Amryn because she was the only one who was going to
That's
be
what
able
she
to
was
read it.
denoting
Yes,
the whole time.
it
Okay.
was like an ancient language that nobody had seen for a long time, which I'm actually going to pause for 1 second since we're talking about the horn tattoo, because I did a little bit of a deep dive on, there are, I think, 6 different bonus chapters that Sarah J Maas released in different versions of this book, depending on where you purchased it. And one of the bonus scenes is with Bryce and Danika when Bryce gets this tattoo. Oh. And so I wanted to just share a little bit of what that is about. If you do some Googling, you'd probably be able to find it online. But this was the chapter that you got if you got this exclusive indie bookstore edition of House of Flame and Shadow. So basically what happens is Danika suggests a, quote, impromptu girls' night where Bryce gets absolutely smashed. And then, let's go get this spontaneous best friend tattoo that I've already planned out and designed and have an additive to put into the ink. Like,
and have an appointment.
Exactly. Like it's all very, let's just go do this thing. But it seems very obvious that Danica's planned it all out, right? Which we know reading it now, she definitely did. So there's a really, really sweet moment where they're waiting to get the tattoo. And Danica tells Bryce that she loves her and like, you're my best friend, the best friend. It's very heavy with vibes of like, I have all these secrets, but I'm not going to tell them to you. But I love you, right? Like, lots of moments like that. I want you to be safe. That she doesn't say this, but this is the vibe that you get. I want you to be safe. And this has so much more meaning to me than you realize. And you'll remember this later and look back on it. And basically they go get the tattoo and Danica's like, yep, I know what I want to get. Here we go. And I'm pretty sure Danica does not get a tattoo ever, but says, let's get matching best friend tattoos.
Yeah.
But I don't think Danica ever actually did. But I guess the idea is that Bryce was so drunk and high that she just doesn't remember how the conversation went, I guess.
Yeah.
But at the very end of the chapter, it made me cry. I really might tear up when I read this quote to you guys. I'm not even joking. Okay. So the tattoo artist comes over and is like getting ready to start doing the thing, and
That's the person with no tattoos
doing the thing, something they got something in their hand, they're gonna put it on her skin. So this is how that bonus chapter ends. Here goes, Danica said to Bryce and reached for Bryce's hand, their fingers interlocking. Light it up, Bryce whispered. I really am going to cry. Light it up, Bryce whispered to Danica as the artist stepped on the power pedal and the tattoo gun buzzed to life. Danica just squeezed Bryce's hand gently, and as the tip of the needle bit into Bryce's flesh, piercing even through the drunken, stoned numbness, Danica whispered, light it up, Bryce.
Aww.
Isn't that sweet? I had like one drink, but I think it's making me feel emotional. But anyway, if you Google for those bonus chapters, they're really good, and I'm going to bring them up as they are relevant
to what we're
reading. As we read.
I've not had time to read those.
Yeah, well, I found them originally through a Reddit link that Reddit has since removed for copyright stuff. So that was actually not my biggest revelation. That was just a random sidebar. So I actually have two biggest revelations. One of them is a for sure thing, and one of them is a right? Question mark. So the one that's a for sure thing, I just totally missed this the first time that I read this because I did read it in 24 hours. Rune gets disemboweled. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
That was
Yes.
so... I almost put that as my least favorite part because it's so graphic.
Yeah, I like totally
it talks about how his intestines splash on the floor.
Yes, like I missed the detail of like his intestines coming out and just read it as like heavily beaten.
Maybe
you know what I mean?
Maybe my biggest revelation of this section is that these fae and werewolves can really heal from just about anything.
I mean, for real.
Because Sabine gets her face blown off.
Yeah.
Rune gets disemboweled, and he's like talking like the next day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he has Gorshian shackles on, which slows
it down even more.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at least your intestines are on the floor, so then you're with your poop, right? But yeah, it was
together until the end.
It's such a short scene, but you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Well, and also he's disemboweled by the Hawk, who I don't think we've ever actually seen until now. They've talked about him a lot, but I don't think we've seen him because I know a lot of people talk about him, the Hawk, being like the Vaughn from Throne of Glass, where like they talk about him, but he never actually shows up. And it's like, well, here's the Hawk. He's disemboweling Rune. So, okay. So my other biggest revelation is So, okay. So we've got the Star Sword and the Truth Teller matching up together as Bryce,
And
shows up.
I hear, wah, wah.
Yeah, like lightsabers. Yeah. So the Star Sword and the Truth Teller match up. We've got the Asteri sounding an awful lot like the Declan from Prythian's history. And we've got Amren recognizing Thea and Peleus's names from when she was in the prison / when she came out of the prison. We've got, it's been 15,000 years since anybody spoke this language in Prythian, and it's been 15,000 years since my ancestor showed up in Midgard. So Prythian is the world that the Asteri are going back to.
Right.
That's like, yes.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that was my other biggest revelation because I was like, well, this seems obvious. And then I was afraid that I was like being stupid. So So Bryce and Runes.
Well, she even says like you're enemy number one. To
yes,
them.
like they're trying to get back here. Right. Okay, yeah. So I was like, am I dumb or is this right? So that's a pretty big revelation. Prythian is the world the Asteri came to Midgard from, and where they're trying to get back to because the magic is just so delicious, I guess. So Bryce and Rune's Starborn bloodline started in Prythian then, if that is true.
Well, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I
if
guess.
that's where, because Thea and Peleus are supposed to be Starborn, but if they came from Prythian, you know what I'm saying?
But yeah, we don't technically know if they came from Prythian.
Yeah.
Well, see, right? Question mark. So there we go. That's my biggest revelation. So
yeah, a lot of shit happened in about 3 pages.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's only 80 pages this time. It's like, oh,
No, it was a
it's
lot.
not fewer things. It's just fewer pages, but the
Right.
same amount of activity.
Right.
So normally we talk about our favorite spicy scene. This was not a really spicy section of the book. Did you guys write down any, just like a favorite scene?
Mine was them bonding.
Mine
He
actually
tells
was
the joke.
too.
Oh, in the dungeon?
Yeah.
The dungeon bonding. That's funny
Yes.
because mine, I mentioned this earlier too, but mine is just seeing our inner circle friends from a different point of view,
Yeah.
just getting to see that different side of them.
Yeah,
Well, look
for
at us.
sure.
We already did that.
Yay!
Yay.
Check.
Who is your chapter MVP?
Mine's Bryce.
Mine too.
Yeah. Oh, I was different. Okay. You guys tell me why Bryce?
So really for me, it's Bryce explaining the entire villain origin story from Crescent City 1 and Crescent City 2 in 3 paragraphs.
Yeah. I mean, she did it.
Yeah.
Talk about a 30-second recap.
Right. So do you
She did
wanna-
much better than I
For maybe anyone that's missed this, I just want to read it real quick because then if that's still confusing to you, I think this really does sum it up in a good way. It's like Sarah J Maas's editor was like, you may want to tell him one more time.
Previously on Crescent City.
The Asteri are ancient immortal beings who feed on the power of others. They harvest the magic of a people, a world, and then eat it. They call it First Light. It fuels our entire world, but mostly them. We're required to hand it over upon reaching immortality, well, as close to immortality as we can get. We seize our full mature power through a ritual called the drop, and in the process, some of our power is siphoned off and given over to the First Light stores for the Asteri. It's like a tax on our magic. She wasn't even going to touch upon what happened after death, how the power that lingered in their souls was actually harvested as well, forced by the Underking into the Dead Gate and turned into Second Light to fuel the Asteri even more. Whatever reached them after the Underking ate his fill. Good job, Bryce.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good summary.
Yeah, now if Bryce could summarize all of the characters in Crescent City 1, we'd be set.
Yeah.
Why was it yours, Mindy? Why was Bryce yours?
I just love how just tricky she is. I love how she puts on her party girl rambling act because she does not know these people and she wants them to underestimate her and not get vital info from her. So she kind of reverts back to what she knows how to do, but it's very manipulating. Like she's manipulating her situation as best she can.
Yeah.
She has the balls to teleport into the Sobek nest and her badass star is leading her somewhere. So I don't know. She thwarts Nesta's efforts to get her to go back and ends up getting her way in the end of going where she wants to go. So,
Like accidentally on purpose. Yeah.
yeah. So all through it, I just feel like she's forging ahead, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't believe though that Nesta didn't at least like punch her in the face.
There's still time.
That's true. Nesta's growing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she's trying to be
I don't know if
a
that's
better
true.
She's trying to be a better person, right? Well, speaking of Nesta, she is not my chapter MVP, but a character who reminds me a lot of Nesta is my chapter MVP. I picked Lydia. I feel a lot for Lydia. She is the Nesta to me of this.
She's much less hated though.
Well, yeah, not by Rune. She's alone and she is horrified by her circumstances. She is terrified for herself and for Rune. She's devastated at the way that he is treating her. She is reviled by Rune and Hunt and Baxian, but she's still working to help them as much as she can and to work for the rebellion.
It would be so easy to give that up and just be like, I'm not going to do it. No one cares that I'm doing it. I'm
Yeah.
lonely. Why am I doing this?
They don't
Right.
appreciate anything that I'm doing, right? They hate me anyway, so fuck it, right? Like, I feel like that would be what most people would probably do. She is just continuing on with her role in the rebellion and her commitment that she made to that. And she has said a couple of times, I have sacrificed too much to let it all go here, you know? And I want to learn more about that. And I just really appreciate her. She's suffering, but it doesn't matter, right? Like her commitment is bigger than that.
Yeah.
And I think that's really strong of her.
She definitely thinks more of the greater good
For
than
sure.
of herself.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm like, what else has she sacrificed? I don't feel like we know enough about that.
That's what I'm saying. Like I would like to read more about her.
Mm-hmm,
She is my Nesta of Crescent City. Give me all the Lydia. Who's your all's favorite secondary character?
Mine were actually the Sobeks. You brought those up.
Oh, that's funny.
And the reason why is I like the way that Sarah J Maas used them as a plot device.
Mm-hmm.
She creates a lot of anxiety for the reader because she keeps talking about how they're in this like dark pit that Bryce can't see down. They're hissing at Bryce for hours. They're like whispering to her. She feels like they're trying to talk to her. And I love that. Like my stomach was really anxious during that. Like what's going to happen when she drops down into that pit? So a character that like isn't really even on the map, I feel like just did a lot of good for the plot right here.
Well, and as a reader of Crescent City, you know how scary the Sobeks are for Crescent City. But
Right.
if you've also read ACOTAR, you know how scary the Court of Nightmares is, and
Right.
the mysterious things that exist under that mountain.
Which is really cool when you think about it, that those mysterious things, all of a sudden, they're not so mysterious anymore.
Right,
Also,
exactly.
is that what Bryaxis is?
Oh,
Like a big Sobek?
I don't know.
Ooh, good question.
That is a good
Because I could
question.
see why that would scare the shit out of Cassian.
Maybe we'll get some Bryaxis POV chapters in an upcoming ACOTAR.
They're just pages that are full black
just
with a little
darkness.
window, one little window.
There
at the
was
top of
only
the page.
darkness and nothing.
Right.
Mindy, who's your secondary?
Mine was Amryn.
Nice.
I've just really missed her snark. And then the one moment that caught my eye was when she's picking invisible specks off her clothes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, Amryn.
Taking a note.
Oh,
taking a
Sarah
note.
J. Maas.
Yeah, taking a note from Rhysand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually thought that I would have the same secondary character as you.
Oh, really?
Because I picked Tristen Flynn.
Well,
your lover.
I can't pick him every week.
I know, right? Well, I'll probably pick Lydia every week. So I picked Flynn because he shot Sabine's face off.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Good job, Flynn.
So,
Nice.
yeah, he's also, I will say this, he is doing, and Declan and Ethan, like they're all trying to figure out how they can help Rune.
Yeah.
And also Hunt, but mostly Rune. And there's really not anything that they can do, but they're doing everything that they can do, you know? And I appreciate that for all of them. But Flynn got the honors from me because he shot Sabine's face off. So rock on, Tristen Flynn. I am curious, did anybody only pick one quote? Because I didn't.
I did pick two.
I
Okay.
have two.
One's
I have
actually
three.
already kind of been brought up, though, and it was when Mindy was talking about her being the party girl. It says, the party girl most of Midgard had labeled her that Micah had believed her to be until she was vacuuming up his fucking ashes. I love that,
That
so
was my favorite shout out.
much.
I love that.
And then my second one was Sigrid to Ethan. Is this a thing you do frequently? She asked suddenly. Liberate people enslaved to others? And then he said, only recently.
It's a new thing I'm trying out.
Right, yeah. Because we have seen Ethan for 3 books now, right?
Yeah.
And so he's kind of coming into what his role is going to be. And
Yeah.
he has a little bit of like a savior complex,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see where it goes because we really hated him for a long time, and now he's very beloved.
Yeah. What were your quotes, Mindy?
So one of mine was Bryce to Rhysand when he mentions leaving her in the dungeon. I'll be sure to recommend it to my friends as a vacation spot.
Yeah. Well, and then he's like, are they going to be
I
here?
know.
You better,
Like, oh, fuck.
yeah, you better tell me, woman.
That was just funny. I was like, get your sass on, girl.
Yeah.
And then when Baxian, when he was getting tortured, he says, yet the hellhound hadn't given Pollux an inch. Hunt would have expected nothing less of a male Erd had chosen to be Danika Fendir's mate.
I liked that,
That
too.
was really sweet.
Yeah, that was really sweet. He's warming up to Batman.
I know. It was like the beginnings of him
Yeah.
like softening.
All right. I guess you're not horrible. All of the quotes that I picked were ones that made me laugh, which kind of like your all's too. one, Mark says to Ethan, Declan, and Flynn, remind me how it is that the three of you are considered some of the most some of the most feared warriors in this city. That made me laugh a lot. And then Bryce, when she is going down into the Sobek nest, this was the stupidest thing she had ever done. In a life full of stupid ideas and mistakes, that was saying something. That made me laugh too. But my absolute favorite quote was from Regulus, when he was talking to the Autumn King and the king of Alan Fae, where he's talking about Bryce. He says, she has chosen to vacate Midgard. It's like his political way of saying, we don't know where the F she is. Like, she gone, boo. That just made me laugh a lot. Like, that's such a politician. I know he's a bad guy, but that's such a politician thing to say. It made me laugh a lot.
She's just like gone for a little bit. And they also have pretty much made the public think that Rune's like on vacation.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah, nobody
your
knows
beloved
what's up.
Star Prince is still around.
He's just, he's been working
He's
so
soaking
hard.
up some rage.
No one
down
has
in a
seen-
dungeon with no intestines.
No one has seen or heard from him, but he's just on vacation.
Yeah, he's fine.
Like
Don't
none
worry
of
about
his
it.
friends.
Yeah, don't ask questions. It's fine. Well, speaking of questions, are there any? I know we've kind of been talking about them throughout the episode. Are there any other questions you guys had written down that we haven't talked about?
Yes.
One of mine was about the language bean. That's what I've been calling it, the language bean. So I'm glad we talked about that.
Every time you say bean.
I mean, that's what it is.
Does yours talk to you?
Sometimes. Sometimes it has a lot to say.
Sometimes it's like, yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
The only other question I had that we haven't brought up is when Bryce is being interrogated, Azrael calls out when she's lying. Did we know that he could do that?
Yeah, he's the spy master. He can sense
I knew
lies.
that, but I didn't know that he could tell when you're lying. Because in my brain, I was
oh my
like,
God, I knew something you didn't know.
I was like, have I been confused? Did I confuse him with Griffin? Because he does that in the Bonds That Tie. And so then I was like, I was so confused. So we knew that he could do that with his shadows?
Yes.
That he could detect lies?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to go find that in the Akatar books because I was like, is this a new trick? Much like the bean, the language bean. Anyway, what other questions do you guys have?
Go ahead, man.
I was going to say, speaking of Az's dagger, what she describes this
It's dagger in my
dagger.
bean.
And when they combine, the fate of my world will be changed.
Sorry, Mindy.
Well, this is going to make what I'm
Azrael's
asking
dagger
sound so disgusting.
Oh, I can't wait.
What is the black light that starts to leak out of us? She describes it as there's a black light leaking
I do
out
think
of it.
it's go
not
ahead,
shadows.
Whitney.
No, you go ahead.
I thought it was calling out to the other.
That's
sword.
what I well, because at one point Amryn or Rhysand, somebody's like, get it away from the sword. Like the dagger and the sword are
So
too
that's
close
just
together or
its
something.
way of.
I don't think we've ever seen that happen. Although
Yeah.
maybe we have because I didn't know
I
he
don't
could
think
detect
so.
lies.
I felt like it was calling out to the other.
Yeah, I don't think we've
object.
ever seen his dagger actually do anything like that.
Yeah.
I think I always thought in Akatar that he was just really good, that Azrael was really good, and that the dagger,
is.
you know, well, because he says like the dagger never misses when he gives it to Elaine, but I never thought that the dagger itself was like magic or anything like that. I thought it was just him.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've ever seen it do anything like that. So I assume it's
Yeah, that was
it's
just
Bryce or the horn or the star sword or something.
Interesting to me. And then, gosh, I have so many questions. What's up with the weird dating system? They keep mentioning it. There's something with that AE.
Dating. You said dating, and I'm thinking like Tinder, and I was like, "What?" Sorry.
It's the dating game.
Yeah, the AE.
Yeah, the AE. They keep bringing up that there's this weird dating system. So
After
there's-
ejaculation, we decided last episode.
yes. So there's got to be something there, and I just don't know what it is. And then the other thing is how exactly did the Asteri break the Northern Rift? Like, I didn't realize that like they actually broke it. Like what process happened to make it only open to hell? It used to open everywhere, and now it only opens to hell. Like, that's sort of
I
particular.
kind of wonder if that's propaganda.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't believe anything the Asteri say it like it face
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, it is kind of like From Blood and Ash, where it's like, well, that's what we've always been told.
True.
It's like, well,
that
but
could
now
just be, that makes so
now
much
we know
sense.
more about the people telling you those things,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that.
And then when Hunt sees a shadow in the corner, was that actually
That was my
hallucination?
question too. What's the shadow? It says it's different, darker, and older, and it was watching them.
It made me think of Bryaxis.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But Bryaxis lives in the house.
Prithian.
He gone.
That's true. He is.
Well, he's in Prithian, not Midgard, too. Because that was in
because
Midgard.
that's in
that was in
Midgard.
Midgard.
Yeah.
Right, but I feel like...
Well, there goes that theory.
But it could be a Bryaxis type of character.
Well, yeah,
you
that's
never
true.
know.
If the Underking is a surreal,
But
if I'm right about that, then there could be another Bryaxis thing.
Right,
Yeah.
but how did no one else notice it?
Well, that's true.
Yeah, that's why was it really a hallucination? Because he kind of brushes it off as a hallucination.
But
Yeah.
we know Sarah Janet does not do that.
I was going to say
that's
he's
too
either
specific.
that either will come back and it'll be something, or he'll just have more
He'll just be more
hallucinations.
hallucinations.
Yes, and but either way, it'll come back. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then the other, I have two more.
I want to take a turn.
Really quick.
Just
I just want to
kidding.
know what the story with the Daglin, like, how is it similar and how is it different to the
like
whole
the
Asteri?
With the Valg. I want to know how all three
Yeah.
of them
Me too.
compare.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Valg is from Throne of Glass, for those of you that haven't read it.
It's in my brain, they're all three the same thing.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's
Just
not
called
confirmed.
different things.
That's
from
just what we
different
think.
Yeah,
things.
that's
And
not
Whitney is
canon.
like super smart, so you should listen to her.
And then
No.
finally, I want to know.
I couldn't even open the window earlier.
That had more to do with you not knowing how to unlock it.
Yeah.
Well, again,
Or no,
that's
knowing
not better.
which way was locked and which was
Okay,
unlocked.
Well,
so
that's fair.
you're book smart but not street smart. How's that?
No, that's debatable.
Can't open a window, but she could tell you probably how windows are made.
In her defense, she probably thought that you all actually locked your windows.
Well, in her defense, I thought we locked our windows.
Sorry, Mindy. What's your final?
my
your final question.
Sorry, are you
Final
talking?
question.
I'm sorry.
I want to know what Lydia's planning with this Erithus Sprite
Oh
Queen
yeah, the
chick.
Sprite
Like,
Queen.
We hadn't
Yeah,
brought
I
that
forgot
up
about
yet.
that.
Obviously there's some ulterior motive. Like she's
Yeah.
planning something.
Well, because this is the allegedly missing Fire Sprite
Right.
Queen.
Yes.
That I don't know if they outright said this or if it was just implied that she's been in that room for like
15,000
years,
years.
like
Years,
all,
yes.
that whole time.
Yes.
She hasn't left at all,
Yes.
and now all of a sudden they're letting her leave with Lydia. Yeah, that was weird.
So I had a question about that space too, because it's where all the mystics are, right?
Mm-hmm.
The priestess that's guarding everyone, it says the trail of her robes was white with salt.
yeah,
I felt like that was
Ooh.
very specific.
I missed that.
And I mean, we all know salt is something that guards, right, from spirits and things like that. So I'm wondering what's up with that.
I think they used because I think that when we went to the astronomer's house in book 2, that they were using some kind of salt
Yeah,
for the
because
mystics
for the
too,
mystics?
and that's how they
Oh,
float.
salt would keep them buoyant.
That's why they
That's
float.
right. Okay, thank
But
you.
I'm sure there's another purpose for
and
it.
then Sigrid says, she gets all
I thought
mad.
you said cigarette.
Sigrid says, like, she got all mad about the guy that was selling stuff.
The salt.
And it's the salt.
Yeah.
to the
So
astronomer.
there's got to be more with that then.
Well, and in book 1, didn't Bryce go get salt when she was calling Adis to her apartment?
there was some sort of
in book 1.
There was some sort of black salt that they.
Yeah, I think that was a thing.
We call that goofer dust in supernatural world.
Yeah.
But again, it repels like
Yeah.
Right.
hellhounds,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Which that kind of makes sense if it has something to do with hell if it was black salt.
yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay, so the only other question we could possibly have in this in this part, because we've asked them all, is why aren't the Asteri, and this is brought up by maybe Sigrid when they're all in the room together, the Asteri know that Declan, Ethan, and Flynn and all of them were helping Bryce and Rune and Hunt, so why aren't the Asteri punishing them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
It feels like it feels again, and we said this in the last book, these beings keep telling us they're powerful, but they don't really show us they're very powerful.
I feel like they're in over their heads.
Yeah. It's like
they're
they,
not
Scary.
Yes.
yeah, they have convinced us that they can do all these things that they actually cannot do.
Well, and that's that worry of are they coming after us? Are they not coming after us? Like they're
Right.
worried about
That's a
that. The
punishment
guys
on
are
its
all
own.
worried about it. Yeah.
Right. But it just seems like they're an actual threat. You would think if the Asteri could take them out, they would.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be a very good book, but no, I mean, but
Chapter 7.
I think
It's over.
Further shows this idea behind propaganda. They have made
Yeah.
the whole world convinced that they are infallible, and Bryce fucking vacuumed one up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they're at 65% power.
That's what I was going to say.
Right.
Too.
They're not at full power.
Yeah. So I think Bryce doing the drop the way she did, I think that fucked their whole.
I'm sure
up.
It had to have.
Yeah, and they're.
I wonder if she siphoned some of their power.
I mean,
that'd be pretty
technically.
Sweet.
She did.
Yeah.
Even if it didn't come straight from them.
Right. She took it with power they would have had.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get, assholes.
What are you guys looking forward to?
Answering all of my questions.
Yeah.
I'm just looking forward to seeing how the two worlds cross over more, like particularly how Amren said Thea and Peleus dwelled there, but she was real cryptic about it. And what is the deal with those two? I'm wanting to learn a little bit more about their story. And
Peleus and
Thea. Yeah.
Yeah. I want more Nesta. I'm glad that Nesta is the one stuck in the tunnel with Bryce, because I'm like, yay, that means we get to see her more, because we're not just going to not have Bryce.
Right. She's a critical part of this story.
Exactly, right. So that means more Nesta. And I would really like Rune and Lydia to have a come to Jesus talk. Like, talk about it. And like you said, fight
and
about it.
And then have hate sex.
Yes, absolutely.
Do it.
I was so mad at you, but I'm not now.
Was there anything else that you guys wanted to make sure we talked about?
No, I actually think we covered it. Yeah,
I know we did. Well, next episode, we are going to be discussing the same book, House of Flame and Shadow, Crescent City Book 3, chapters 7 through 15. We'll see you then.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Like what you heard in this episode? Follow Our Nerdiest Thing on Instagram at instagram.com/Our Nerdiest Thing, or Facebook at facebook.com/Our Nerdiest Thing. We love hearing from fellow nerds. Email us at ournerdiestthing@gmail.com.